Hello, everybody. This is Cheryl Abram and Person-Centered Cyber. So I'm starting early, although I'm not going to talk about the topic until I'm supposed to, until 8:30. Okay. But I just want to come on early because I mean, it's been a minute since I've been on, and I just want to, chat with y'all and tell you about some of the stuff that I've been doing and working on and thinking about and researching and all that. But okay, so first, right, I have a question. Is it a question? Maybe I have a story. All right. Now, as you all know, I began working, or I'd been working for the federal government for around 16, 17 years. Okay, like right out of college, Catholic University. I started working for the government. Wasn't expecting to do it, but I was like, government, that's close to nonprofit. So let me see, what's up with that. And after I finally discovered that my expectations were not going to be met, but that was okay. I learned to really, really love the work that I was doing, okay, and the organization I was doing it with. So I'd been a federal employee all that time. And I worked with contractors like throughout the whole time. Contractors were always there. They were always everywhere, on our team doing different things. And it was fine. Like I never saw I don't know. If there was a difference between the government people and the contractor, then the positivity was on the side of the contractor. All right. That was my impression, right? Is that the organization, the federal, organization called in contractors when they needed like advanced work done or something, So as I worked in the government, and I began to notice things and see stuff, I started thinking, you know what? Nobody's ever going to hear what I'm saying because I'm an employee. I'm a federal employee. Okay. Nobody, first of all, expects anything new and innovative or like to come from a federal employee. If somebody from Booz or, Booz Allen or Deloitte or whatever came up in here with some of the same stuff I'm talking about, that it would be like gold, So finally I was like, I'm not going to get anywhere, in this organization because I'm a federal employee. And the expectation is not for a Fed to be able to do what the contractors are doing and even better. Okay, that's not the expectation, So, I mean, that if there was a disparity, that's the one I saw. Okay. Now that I'm a contractor, I've been a contractor for, how long have I been a contractor? What is this, April? Next month will be 1 year that I have been a contractor working in a federal agency. Okay. And it's completely different, It's crazy, for what from what I can see. It's like contractors, I don't know, I don't want to use the word revere because that's not the word, but I don't know. They have some kind of, you're going to have respect. These are the people paying you. I don't know. There's just something there. Oh, excuse me, child. Hold on, let me get it together. But this is happening now, and not when I'm doing my content, right? Okay. So I don't know what that's about the way that contractors look at federal employees. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird to me because they're not all that. You know, having been one, they're not. You know, especially, I mean, like as you get up in the levels, you know, your GS levels. When I got out as a GS 14, I don't know, step 9 or some shit, I don't know, something like that, step something. But I got out as GS 14, you know, and you know, being where I was, the organization where I was, now in headquarters in DC, a 14 is like almost a dime a dozen. Okay. But if you're out in the field, like a 13, 14, even a 12 sometimes, you know, would have the same responsibilities as like a supervisory, you know, 15 or something. So, but around here, so I'm really seeing how contractors make distinctions between the GS levels. Okay. I mean, because I just speak for myself. I didn't really do that. You were either GS or SES. You know, that's basically what you were. Okay. Your GS or SES. Now here with in this group, on this side of the fence, I see a lot more demarcation, you know, between the GS levels, which is something else. But I had this supervisor, and oh my God, the just sweetest person ever. And the reason why I say, let me just say, is like we're just like you know, federal employees are, I don't even want to say no different than contractors, because a lot of us just stay in there, get step increases, and don't do nothing. You know, listen, what you want me to do? I'm just telling you how it is. Okay, that's what a lot of us do. And I think I just saw something about the supervisors needing to be able to prove when they put somebody on a PIP. Well, they made it even harder. Okay, to because performance was an absolute issue, absolutely an issue. You know, because many times what happens when you have a poor performer in the government, I'm not going to say many times because I don't know if it's many times. So sometimes that I've seen, okay, that person will get promoted. In what universe? In what multiverse? Where? Where they do that at? Okay, promote somebody that got performance issues, because it's so hard to do anything else, you know. And by the time you've resorted to that, you know, the people around or the team are like, listen, just get them out of here. I don't care. Just get them out of here. Okay. So we could do what we need to do. You know what I mean? And that's, unfortunately, that's just what happens. So yeah, so I had this this supervisor. Hey, Professor Black Ops, how you doing? You see that too? I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts. But I mean, it's hard, you know. From I never, ever aspired to be a supervisor when I was in government. Never. I'm like, y'all, I can't do this. Like, y'all, what I didn't like that part right there, you know, that it's so difficult if somebody is clearly having performance issues for the supervisor to do anything. Okay. It was that part. And then when I was acting, like when my supervisor was out, my manager was out, I would be acting sometimes. And I would have grown ass people older than me, could be my grandma and stuff, you know, talking about, you know, is it okay if I take leave to do this? I felt weird. I'm like what I felt like saying was, what the hell are you asking me for? Like, do you have leave? then take it. Just let me know, just so I know in case somebody asks me what the hell you at. Oh, she on leave. She got a blah 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 whatever. Like, what you asking me for? I feel like adults, coming and asking like, Mother May, I can't stand that. I can't take it. I just couldn't take it. So I don't like that at all. I really don't. And so though, and other stuff too, but I ain't got time for all that. But anyway, I had this supervisor. Now I'm talking about, now listen, let me tell you, this person was the sweetest person. Like, I mean, just sweet, absolutely sweet. But when it came to the work, it got so bad. It got so bad that when we would go to meetings at other organizations, I would cringe. Like, I would be I just anticipating what this person was going to say, what the questions they were going to ask about the meeting. I would cringe because I knew it wasn't going to make any sense at all. I knew it. And I knew the people around the table knew it wasn't going to make any sense. Okay. I don't know what the issue was. Like, I really don't. And I'm telling you, this is not about the person as a person. It's about the person being able to move up in the ranks, and get these positions. And when it's like, how? How? And it can't be because it's your time. Okay, because you got time and grade. That's why you get to now, lead this thing or supervise these people. What time got to do with competence? I mean, I don't know. It was just, and that was something I really struggled with. Like, I really, really did. And I got to the point to where, because I was new to government. Okay. And I'm like, is something wrong with me? Like, am I not understanding what's going on? Because like the questions and stuff, that they were, plus they were representing OPM, which is another reason why I got out of the government. Okay. They were representing this organization when they opened, and it was just, I don't know. But another reason, right, why I could not stay where I was, in government is because when I went somewhere, people would literally say, "Oh, OPM is here." That's what they would say. And I'm like, who is OPM? Like, Cheryl is here. Yeah. I couldn't know. No, we're not gonna do that. I could not. No, I couldn't do that, Professor Black Ops. This is one reason I became a consultant. There you go. Yeah, I mean, and like I said before, like, I don't know if you were here when I said that, but how I really felt like, because I was a federal employee, I was not going to be able to make an impact the way I wanted to, because they weren't looking for that from me. Okay, they were looking for me to get time and grade. They were looking for me to be OPM. When I went somewhere, they were looking for me to, to say what I was supposed to say. And yeah, I just couldn't. That's not Cheryl. That's just not me. I got everything that I could get out of and I loved the whole time I was there. I was in government. I loved it, and I got a lot out of it. But I remember sitting down with my supervisor. This was like a year before I said I hit send on the resignation letter. I sat down with her and my resume. I said, I'm looking at this resume and I feel like I have done absolutely nothing in all the years that I've been here. It had been like 15 years at that time. I feel like I hadn't done shit. Nothing. because everything on that resume was someone telling me to do something. It was, you know, in my executive's performance plan. Okay, my executive had to be sure you know, executive training happened that year or something like that, right? That's why it was on my resume, because it was on his, you know. So I couldn't, it was, and there was, it was just too much. One small regret, we could control hiring and build more diverse teams. What do you mean, regret what, in government or outside? I mean, it really depends. If my supervisor wasn't as wonderful as she was, I'd have probably only been in government for like 2 years. I'm telling you, 2 years. But you know, the lack of competence, there's no other way I can say it. The lack of competence was good when I first got there. Like the first organization I was at was not OPM. It was GSA, and it was good because I was allowed to do much more than I probably would have been allowed to do had I been with, you know, someone who was competent. Oh yeah, managing government and build teams. Yeah, absolutely. So I went in as a PMF. I don't know if you've ever heard of a presidential management fellow, but it was like, you know, I do a whole contest. I didn't know what the hell that was. Okay, I really didn't. But I got in like that. And I went in as a GS9. That's how, when you're in that program, you go from a 9, 11 to 12, okay, within 2 years. So I went in as a 9, and I found myself like literally traveling all around the United States to all of GSA's, what do you call them? Bureaus or something? I don't know if that's what you call them, GSA, whatever. But, you know, to help train them on the new training technology that we just created, right? And that was I mean, it was fun, it was interesting, you know, and I learned a lot doing that. But, you know, I had a lot of responsibility, which was cool with me. Like, I don't mind being thrown into something, you know, as long as I have support there, you know, in case I need it. And I did in my team. So that was good. That was really good. But those, I mean, you know, I have no regrets about that time, you know, all those years in government. It was as I was going through, which is something I'm going to talk about tonight, right? We talk about work-life balance. That's not a thing, right? It's not, you got work here and you got life there. There is no line of, it's not like, you know, when you clock in at whatever time you clock in and it's just work, you know, like you have nothing else on your mind, nothing else is, you know. And the same thing with when you clock out. It's not that you know, you clock out at 5 or 6, how, whatever. And after that, you don't think about work again until the next morning. You know, it's just life. You know, work-life balance is not a thing, okay? It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing, okay? It really is, you know. One is part of the other. Your work is part of the way you live, okay? Especially since we spend so much time at work, you know, in our lives. I read they have this thing, I'll have to find it, but it talks about how much time we spend doing different things, like in life, like in our lifetime. It's very interesting. Like, Google that or something. I mean, you know, it's like a chart of time spent during a lifetime, whatever. Work was like way up there. You know, the time spent working was just like, that's most of our lives. And when I say working, I mean being paid for your labor. That's what I'm talking about. Being paid for your labor, okay? Because that's what's happening, okay? your mental and physical labor. That's what's happening when you get a paycheck, okay? Another one, of course, is sleep, okay? So we're either working, we're sleeping, and for women, listen up, women, we got any in here. The third thing on the list after working and sleeping, guess what? Dieting. What kind of life is that? We spend like, what was it, like 12 years dieting. I'm telling you, it was sad. It was so sad. Just sad. Sad. Stressing about food, scared to eat chips. I mean, all kind of just craziness. You got offered a GS-13? I could have been. Okay, yeah. Why you didn't take it, Professor Black Ops? You could be moving and shaking some stuff in government. Okay. Speaking of spending your life dieting, I'm hungry. I really am. Okay, what time is it? 8:18. I'm gonna start talking about the Gospel of Cybersecurity at 8:30, like I said. Okay. I just wanted to talk to you all a little bit before I got started. But so let me say thank you. Okay, and I'll say it again at 8:30. But I've reached my 600. Thank you so much, all of you. I really do appreciate you. And you keep subscribing, so y'all must want me to come back and talk about some stuff. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing that. But I really do appreciate you all just being here and listening and commenting. Some of you after the video, those of you who catch the replay, y'all comment underneath the video, and I appreciate that. And I try to get to every comment when I can. Okay, so just keep commenting. I will get there. I promise. I'll get to you. And some of you, you can get me on LinkedIn too. Okay, you'll probably get me faster on LinkedIn than you will here. But I'll reply either way. Okay. So what do we got? 8:20. We got 10 more minutes. Okay. What else did I want to tell y'all about? Okay. So this past week, I was able to speak at a college. Where is it? I have it around here. But it was a small university in Nigeria. And the topic was the real meaning of cybersecurity. Okay. And because the main, and I'm going to do it again at the end of this week. It's going to be the real meaning of cybersecurity, but it's at a different Nigerian university, I believe. You said consultants make more. They do make more. But all them good government jobs, you got stability, you ain't gonna never get fired, you get all these things, and people, revere you and all that, right? You're probably revered right now, Professor Black Ops. But what was I saying? What was I saying? Like, I really did forget. What the hell was I talking about? Oh my God. Oh Lord. Somebody remind me what the hell I was talking about. I said thank you for the 600, right? I know I mentioned that. Revered and hate is a thin line. You're absolutely right. I watched this. No, see, now you brought something up. You about to make me tell another story. Look, I got 9 minutes. I watched this video on YouTube. Okay. I was writing one of my blogs. The blog was called The Hate We Hide. That's what it was called, The Hate We Hide. Okay. And what I use as an example, there's this video on you. I don't know if it's still on YouTube. It should be, but it's of Saddam Hussein. Okay, when he was first coming, getting in power and all that. He was in this like auditorium. Okay, it was a black and white video. It was a little grainy, And this guy, he was being narrated by the guy who was talking about how, you know, he had some mental issues and stuff, right? So he's in this auditorium, sitting at a table, smoking a big cigar, right? And there's a lot of men, all men in the audience, in the auditorium. This guy got up to the podium, and, you know, the narrator is, you know, saying, because he's, of course, he's not speaking English. So the narrator is talking about what he's talking about. And he's saying there are traitors, you know, in here who are coming against our leader, right? So the people in the audience, they're like, you know, looking around or whatever. And the guy is saying, okay, we're going to point out who the traitors are, you know, and we're going to do what we do to traitors. So Saddam is sitting over here at the table with a cigar, and he points at somebody in the audience. There's guards in the back, okay, at the back doors. Nobody can get out. There's guards there. They have guns. They go to the guy he's pointing to, take him outside. Okay. And the guy is like, what's going on? Like, he's protesting. He's like, you know, he's like, what's happening? You know, they take him out to the back and they shoot him right there. No trial, no questions, nothing. Okay. Saddam, he does it again. He points to somebody else. Now, and this guy now is taken out and shot. Okay. The people in the auditorium are terrified. I'm looking at the video and I can see that they're terrified. Okay. Absolutely terrified. And do you know what happened? This goes to what you just said, Professor Black Ops. Okay. Revered and hate is a thin line. These people were so scared, okay, they got up out of their seats. And I'm telling you, it was like it was so loud. It was a cacophony. You hear what I'm saying? They started yelling and screaming and clapping, like, long live Saddam, like, we love you. I mean, they started revering this man like you wouldn't. It was something to see. You got to find this video. It was something to see. The reverence that he got in that moment from all of these people was clearly born of fear. They really hated his freaking guts. And if they could have, they would have chopped his head off for having the audacity to point in the audience and have control of somebody's life like that. They hated him. You could tell. They were screaming his name. I love you. But you could tell, I mean, all of that, all of it was born of the hate and fear that was underneath. Okay. All of it. That's why the name of my blog was called The Hate We Hide. Okay. Because that was very, because it was born right there in that minute as those people were seeing what he was doing. I'm gonna find that video and share that video, y'all. It's something else. I'm telling you, it's something else. Professor Black Ops, you hit the nail on the head now. You hit it on the head. You are exactly right. Exactly right. Because if you're that revered, okay, and dictators know this. Dictators around the world, they know this. They absolutely know this. Why you think they're always looking over their shoulder and got people to do? They know these people don't really love them, okay? Because the second somebody is able to take them out, that's exactly what they're going to do. All right. Hey, Kareem, how you doing? Showing every time justification of the Gulf War, both times we went. Oh, was it? Oh, the bot party. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. That's what it was. But it was something else. It was something else. But that's not uncommon. You know, a lot of the people that we love and revere and all this stuff is because we fear them. Okay, not because we love them. No, not really. Okay, it's because we scared. You know what I'm saying? That's why we, do a lot of the things we do and say a lot of the things we say, because we feel like we don't have a choice. Can you really love somebody when you feel like you ain't got no choice? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe you can. I don't know. Child. What time is it? All right, we're gonna get started a little early because I have a date tonight, honey. I got a date with some bath salts, bubbles, and hot water. I got let me show y'all what I got. Yeah, box set. Is it still over here? Oh, you know what? I think I took it upstairs. I ordered some magnesium salt flakes, okay? And I'm gonna go put those in a bathtub with some bubbles, and I'm just gonna sit and brine in my magnesium salt flakes. All right. So again, thank you all for helping me to get to 600 subscribers. I really, really appreciate it, and it helps me to see that, at least 600 of you, at least out of the 7 something billion in the world, like what I say and want to hear me say more. So I appreciate that. So I'm going to be here for the 600 of you. Okay. Now, tonight we're talking about the Gospel of Cybersecurity. I should have had some light come down or something as I said that, right? That would have been like really neat. Yeah, and I titled it that because that's what it is. Okay, that's what's going on here. Wow, this Google picture just changed. Did y'all see that light come on like that? Hold on, let me put a command prompt screen up because these things get really bright. I have on one of my monitors. Let me put it over here. There we go. That's cool. I've never seen the screen change in real time like that. Okay. Now, why am I calling it the gospel? Now, I love words. I do the etymology of words like on a daily basis because I want to know, what does this mean originally? Like, where did it come from and all that? Okay. So I did that for several of them. So, gospel just means good story, good news, right? For those of us who grew up or may still be in the church, we hear about the good news. That's what the gospel is, right? That's what that means. And so we hear the Gospel of Cybersecurity is about policy. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about. And I tried to find a way. I was like, okay, so how can I talk about this in a way that people really haven't heard of it before? Because we feel like we know what policy is and we don't. Okay, so I was like, okay, so how can I really do this? So I packaged it in a way that hopefully like it'll come through as to Cheryl's perspective of policy and the way I treat it, okay, and what I do with it. So something that we hear a lot growing up, all the time, we hear this. Actions speak louder than words. That's what we hear. Actions speak louder than words. Okay. Which is not true. Okay. No, they don't. They don't speak louder than words. They're the same thing. Okay. They're the exact same thing. If you look at the etymology of the word policy, okay, now you'll see several things, the Greek and the Hebrew and all this other stuff, right? The one that I zeroed in on, for policy, the definition, wisdom in action. I was like, that's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, one of the original meanings of policy, wisdom in action. Okay, I'm talking about cybersecurity policy here. You understand? But we're going to get there, in a way that you can identify with better. So we just hitting it on the head. Okay. So wisdom in action. Okay. What you're doing when you're doing something. Okay, you're enacting policy. You understand? Like that's what you're doing. And when I say that, listen, don't think of police. when you think of policy, like something that's there to, you know, keep order, or not in that way, not in that way. Okay, it's not the police. Well, I ain't talking about 50. Okay, think of it as, so when I was in the army, periodically there are several things that we just had to do that we hated doing, but we had to do it anyway. Okay. One of them was guard duty. I hated guard duty. Didn't like it at all. Okay. Another one was when I had to go out and police the area. That didn't mean I put on a badge and directed traffic and arrested criminals. Okay. That meant they gave me a bag, not a badge, a bag to pick up trash. Okay, that's police. We had to go police various areas, pick up garbage, all right, and make the place look nice again. You understand? When you think of policy, that's what I want you to think of. I want you to think of policing in that way. Policing as in, you know, making things presentable, making them neater, making them attractive so people want to come. Okay, that's where I'm going here. Okay, it's like the difference between a jungle and a garden. Okay, I mean, jungles can be beautiful. I mean, absolutely wonderful, but shit is just everywhere. You know, I mean, it's just grow up wherever there's room. Okay, wherever the sun is able to get through them leaves and hit the ground, and you know, is growing. You know, there's stuff everywhere. All right. A garden, okay, is about putting things in place. Okay, okay, I don't want all the vines over here. Let's put them over there. Let's put a nice row of tulips right here. You know, let's create a pond for the fish and the lizards and all over here. You know, it's about arranging things, okay, in a garden. Okay, so which is close to policing, right? That's what policy is, because it stems from all of us. I don't know if any of you have ever had a mentor or a coach or anything, okay? But if you have, or even a therapist, okay, a lot of these people will tell you about creating your own personal mission statement, okay? Your own personal mission statement. Now, all of us have it. Every single human creature here has a mission statement, okay? Whether you know it or not. All right, you may not have written it down, you may not have really sat down and tried to figure out what it was, or you know, but you got one, okay? And I know you got one because you're here and you're doing stuff, okay? You're working towards something, you know, whatever that is, okay? Okay, whether you know what it is or not, you're working towards something. So we all have a mission statement, just like organizations have mission statements, okay? Now, the thing is, when you find a job now, and we used to do this, I mean, tell people all the time, and I when I created onboarding documents, you know, when we would onboard people, go out and recruit people, you know, all of that, for the organization that you're working for or with, that you're hired by, okay? It's important that you, first of all, know the mission of that organization, number one. And number two, that you share it. I mean, that you believe that shit. Like whatever the hell they say they're trying to do. I mean, do you agree with that? Is that something that you looking to, you know? Let me look up something real quick. Because we talk about this, and but we really don't give it the credence that it needs, because it's important. Okay. Listen, if you gotta put on the whole armor of God to go to work, you gotta shod your feet with the whatever all that stuff say, okay? If you have to do all that just to make it for 8 hours, you probably in the wrong place, okay? You're probably in the wrong place. I mean, you know, it shouldn't have to take all that. You know, let me look something up real quick so I can tell y'all how important this is. Okay, let me see. Give me a minute. Let me find the mission of this organization right here. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Okay. Here you go. This is the philosophy. Okay. This is the philosophy of this organization. We stand for white supremacy. Distinction among the races is not accidental, but designed. This is clearly brought out in the one book that tells authoritatively of the origin of the races. This distinction is not incidental, but is of the vastest import and indicates the wisdom of the divine mind. It is not temporary, but is as abiding as the ages that have not yet ceased to roll. The supremacy of the white race must be maintained or be overwhelmed by the rising tide of color. Okay. If you agree with this philosophy, this mission, this goal, this is your organization. You know, this is who you want to be with. This is who you want to work for. You want to take on tasks, okay, to help these individuals reach this ideal goal, reach this, this dream that they have. That's what you want. Okay. You're not going to do that that's why they're recruiting. They need people to help them get there. You understand? You sharing in this philosophy, in this mission, okay, will not only help them get to where they want to go, but because you share in it wherever you want to go, it's going to help you get there too. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Policy stems from things like this, from mission statements. Okay. This is where the policy comes from. All right. A lot of the policy comes from that. Okay. From what we are trying to do in this organization. The information system is an information system. Okay. But it's going to be used in a certain way in this organization. Okay. What'd you say? Supremacy of white. What did I do? I'm trying to bring the point across about about how important mission statements are, how important a mission is. Okay, all of us have a personal mission statement. Okay, does that personal mission statement that you have align with the company, the organization, the business that you work for? If you don't know what the hell that statement is of the company and organization, what the heck are you supporting? You know, imagine working for these folks right here. You don't know what the mission statement is. All you know is they said you need a CYSA. They're gonna pay for you to get your CISSP. Okay, you're gonna be in charge of this thing. This is your task. Hey, you qualify for what we want you to do. Oh, cool. Now let me go work there, okay, and help them meet their mission, whatever it is. I don't know shit. All I know is I'm getting a check. Okay, that's all I know. You know, you ain't gonna be. I mean, when the policy comes down, what are you gonna say? Like, what can you contribute to the information systems they need to help them reach this goal? You know, are you gonna even care? You probably don't even care. You know, I just tell me what to do. Okay, let me know. You need me to run the Splunk? Like, what you want me to do? Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I don't know what the hell y'all doing over here. So what I'm saying is, it's important for us, Okay, because we know how important information systems are in organizations. We know this. Okay, you probably nowadays, if you don't have some kind of information system, you ain't gonna go far at all with whatever the hell you're trying to accomplish as a business. Okay, it's gonna be real hard. Okay, so you need to know. We need to know. We need to know what's up. Okay, you need to know if you're working for USAID or HUD. Like, you need to know that they got totally different missions, totally different. Okay, and the information systems are going to be used differently. You know, different things are going to be allowed, different things are going to be expected, different threat actors are going to be looking at you. Okay, depending on the mission of your organization. Yeah, okay. So your own personal statement. Now, from that mission, which already has meaning, okay, now we come to the various policies, okay, and the procedures and the memorandum that have to be written and rewritten, okay, and the various things that need to be changed and added on to the information system, and do those things now need to be stigged? Okay, now we need to go back to our AO to be like, hey, listen, we got to add this thing, and the risk is this. Are you going to approve it? All stuff is always going and churning and all that. Okay, and you're going to need policies and procedures and standards, right, to help you. You have compliance, of course, so you have to manage that regulatory risk. Okay, you got to manage that regulatory risk, right? But we're also thinking about defending the organization. Okay, not just being compliant with the regulators say, right, but actually, being active, proactive, and being sure we're doing all we can to defend and, be able to recover if something else happens. All right. Now, when I talk about, because policies are not just me finding a template, taking out Facebook and putting Epiphany up there. Okay. So I can be compliant when Professor Black Ops comes in to look at what I'm doing. All right, that's not gonna work. Okay, there has to be meaning in there. It has to be meaningful, right, for what I'm trying to do as a business. Okay. Now, when I say meaning, that's just a word that we think we know what it is, but we don't. Let me tell you. Now, in evaluation, when I had to go evaluate stuff, right, there are three things that people really look for to say whether something, to make a judgment about whether something, is good or bad, or however they're evaluating it. Okay. They look for the value, okay, like the instrumental value. Okay. They look for the merit. Okay. The merit being like, I want to bake an apple pie. So the merit of a green apple is greater than that of a red. Okay, merit is based on the circumstance, it's based on the situation. Does this thing have merit in this situation? Because in another situation, it may not. Okay, so you have value, you have merit, and significance. Significance is fuzzy as hell. Okay, now let me show you. Let me give you an example. And again, we're talking about policy. Okay, we want your policies to have value, merit, and significance. Okay, you see this right here? This is a ring. My grandmother gave me this ring, okay, before she died. And when she gave it to me, she told me, I had always wondered where it came from. Okay, like who gave it to her and stuff. And she would tell like little things, but she never got into detail. All right. So she said she actually found this ring, like way back in the early 1900s or something, And the day she found the ring, she stopped. She saw something shiny on the ground, and she stopped and picked it up and, dusted it off a little bit. And she said the time it took her to stop on the road, pick up this ring and dust it off and clean it off a little bit, Up ahead of her, had she kept walking, you know, if she hadn't stopped and gotten this ring, she'd have been run over by this runaway car. Like this car, I guess the guy's brakes had failed or something like that, right? So it was right in front of her, and if she'd have kept walking, he would have completely run over her. But he ended up, you know, grazing a tree and then running into a house. All right, so ever since that day, she was like, this something special, you know, about this ring. So there was another time where she lost it. Okay, she lost the ring, and she wasn't going to leave the house. This was some years later. She wasn't going to leave the house without it. Okay, so she went back in to find it. She was like, I think I know where I put it. You know, I think it was in the kitchen when I was washing the dishes. So you know, she went in there. She's looking around, and she finally found it on the floor underneath the table. Okay, and again, she said, if I wouldn't have gone back in the house, you know, for that ring, I would have been in that accident that happened outside at that time. Okay. Now, which just reiterated to her, like, so there was a lot of this ring. It's just showing this to y'all. Y'all might be like, oh, that's like a silver, you know, like whatever, something, you know, and if you had it and lost it, then it wouldn't mean anything, right? But for her, it really meant a lot. Okay. So, which is what significance is. Significance is all about the meaning you put into something. Okay. And it may not mean anything to anybody else, you know, who hadn't seen, you know, or known about that. Okay. Now, none of that was true. Okay. None of that was true. But I wanted to give y'all an example of significance. Okay. I on the spot, I made that whole thing up. All right. This ring, I mean, if I lose it today, I'd be okay. You know, I'd be fine, because, you know, it's not, that whole story is not in this ring. Okay. But that's what I mean by meaning. Your policy having meaning. Now, it's not going to be something that extra, at least, well, you know, unless it's your own business. Okay. Unless it's your own business you're starting, and you're, you know, you create something because of, I don't know, something personal or whatever, right? Then it'll be like that for you, but not for everybody. So when we evaluate something, okay, we look for its significance, its merit, and its value, okay? And that's going to have the people who evaluate your policies saying, okay, you know what? This is good. Okay, you guys, you're going to go really, really far. This is a best practice. Okay, a third party coming in telling you, hey, this is a best practice. It's not what they're reading that's the best practice. It's what's happening because of what's written. It's the wisdom in action that's the best practice. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, I told y'all last time, so before I move to that, what I was just talking about is, this is why you need to share in the mission of your organization. You know, you got to first know what the hell it is. Okay. And see, okay, is me doing the work I'm doing every day in the SOC, in the NOC, you know, doing all these risk assessments, okay, is writing this policy, you know, reviewing, going to these meetings, is me doing all this work. And work is physical and mental energy used to produce something, right? Is that also going to help me get to where I'm trying to get to? Because it's not just about the organization. Okay, you have a mission too. You know, are these policies and standards and all this stuff, is this stuff going to help me get to where I'm trying to get to as well? Now, it was like pulling teeth. Okay, pulling teeth to get people to really contribute to the policies that were being written, which is weird to me. Because I'm like, you're going to have to adhere to this stuff. So why wouldn't you want to put, you know, look at it and give your input, like thoughtful input, you know? That's my sister. She's moving, so she's all up in my video. Yeah, so why wouldn't you want to give your input? As a cyber analyst, okay, as a cyber analyst, you all who work as cyber analysts, like y'all are all over the place. Okay, y'all are all over the place. Like y'all, and I mean that in a good way. I mean, you have like eyes everywhere. You know, you're able to contribute a lot, and you say too many cooks in the kitchen, Kareem, too many chefs in the kitchen. Um, so when you get the opportunity to do that, then do it. Damn it, do it. you know, ask questions. You're not taking Security Plus and sitting for these hard ass exams and CYSA and CISSP and all this other stuff to go in and not use it. Even if you have to refer back to the damn book, pull it out, okay, and see what it says about certain situations, right? I mean, contribute what you need to contribute, because these business people, they don't know. That's why you're there. Okay, they're not going to pull out a book on. They're not going to go get a CISSP. That's why you're there. They're not going to go get a CYSA for what? That's why you're there. Okay, you need to be able to, put in your 2 cents where it needs to be, and it needs to be thoughtful, meaningful 2 cents. You know what I mean? Hi, how you say that? Candaisies Williams. Hello, so glad to see you here. So we have a job to do, and I feel like we need to do it. Okay, even when it comes to policy, it's not all just about sitting at a terminal, typing in Linux commands. Okay, all right. Policy is wisdom in action. Whatever the hell you're doing, something is backing. It should be backing that up. Okay, are you just completely, off the grid, doing some rogue stuff? You know what I mean? And I don't know. And I just see there's a lot of what I've seen in various places. And I work nonprofit too, in nonprofit organizations, right? If like trying to, so I heard this on a phone call, right? This person was saying how he was talking about cybersecurity awareness training, okay, and how individuals, when they violate something in the PED policy, right? The personal device policy, right? They violate something in that, and what he said was, well, did they take the training? Didn't they take the training? Tell them the training. So anytime they say, well, I didn't know, but didn't you take the training? And I'm like, dude, dude, did they take the training? Which is what I'm talking about. A lot of this training, that security awareness training, is created strictly for compliance. Strictly for compliance. That's it. They don't care if you listen. If they don't care, if they could put a link to a YouTube video and be compliant, they would do that stuff. Okay, I'm telling you, this stuff is so. Cybersecurity analysts, I'm talking to you. Okay, whoever your training people are, all right. You need to be there in the room. You need to be there, and the people doing the work need to be there. Okay, creating this cybersecurity awareness stuff. I have this study. I downloaded this study. It was a compliance study, Professor Black Ops. I need to share it with you, okay? Because it gave 3 reasons. Let me find it real quick. It gave 3 reasons why people don't comply with cybersecurity policy now, okay? And I talked about this with Dr. Phillips. Because people quick to say, didn't they read this? Didn't they see that? You know? And it's like, if you have to understand human behavior, okay? That shit don't work with you. Why you think it's gonna work with somebody else? Huh? Huh? Don't you remember your mom or your auntie or your dad or somebody saying, did you hear what I told you? Did you do everything they told you to do? No, you didn't. So why is that gonna work for somebody else? Tell me, why is that gonna work for somebody else? Let me find this thing here. Y'all know I can't multitask, so I need to find this before I start talking again. Okay, here we go. There's that. Oh, y'all, I ordered me some kettlebells, and I can't wait till they get here. Okay. I need my digital. Oh, here it is. It's called The Psychology of Information Security, Resolving Conflicts Between Security Compliance and Human Behavior. All right. Now, let me tell you real quick what the three things are. What the hell? Okay, I gotta do this again. Huh? I'm on my video. I'm on YouTube talking to my folks. And you all up in my video. What? Let me see. Oh, you're welcome. Love you too. Okay, I will. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay, how users make decisions. Okay, here it is. Here are the three. Common reasons for non-compliance. Number one, there is no clear reason to comply. No reason to comply, okay? Which means that employees, even though you've written your IT security policy, okay? Now we know that there's those three, it's the three-legged stool, right? You have the administrative controls, you have your operational, and you have your technical, okay? We got those things, all right? But you cannot forget human behavior in any of those, okay? You can't forget that, right? Which is so starting at the administrative, okay? Getting these people in the room, when you're doing this kind of stuff, that's very important, all right? If you want behavior that aligns with a security culture, right? People who really do value security, okay? So there's no clear reason to comply. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'll put the link in the thing so y'all can read it, right? It says they lack clear understanding of what certain security policies forbid and allow. They really don't get it. And especially if you've written them so that they contradict. You have one thing, I'm telling you, I have seen this, I've seen it. Because I don't know, like they contradict it in the same document. You said one thing here in 2A, in 2V, you say the total opposite thing, And I feel like that's from using templates. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, the second reason they don't comply. The cost of compliance is too high. It's too high. Okay. Let me tell you what, I got my own example for this one. All right. Now, when we had that big old breach, okay, that was in the news. Everybody knew about, people got fired, all up in Congress face talking, making excuses and all that. Okay. I talked about this before, Professor Black Ops. They shut it down. There was so much friction on the network, child. anything. So we used to be able to access like outside of the organization. Like I forgot what the thing was, right? But they totally shut it down, which is fine. Okay. They put something in place where, I mean, the websites we could get to, you know, it was like almost if it wasn't our own, we had to get signatures and, you know, permission. And I mean, it made work so hard to do. I mean, just hard, you know. That's the second reason. So you know what happened? You know what happened? We, okay, this is, you know, before my cybersecurity days, okay, we would use our personal stuff to get work done, okay? We would find every kind of workaround we could find. We would share workstations. I mean, all kinds of stuff that you don't need to be doing, okay? Because it was so hard to do the work. You're telling me to comply in this way, but do you realize how hard it is? I was hired to do something, okay? I was not hired to do security. I was hired to do this thing. My performance is based on me getting this done for this client, okay? My bonus depends on me being able to get this done. Do you think for 1 minute, that I'm gonna let IT security rules get in the way of me doing what I need to do to get paid, to get a outstanding this year? Do you think that's gonna happen? Okay, again, we're talking about human behavior here, okay? We're talking about human behavior. Think about yourself, okay? Don't feel like it's other people, because everything I'm saying applies to you too, okay? You're not gonna let anything get in the way of that. You're just not gonna do it. You're not, okay? You just happen to be in security. Do you understand? So your job is to make sure, you know, you're protecting and all this other kind of stuff, but that's not everybody's job in there. You know, that's not what they were hired for. We have to understand that, which is why we need to work with them, okay? Because I promise you, what they were hired to do will always get priority, always, 100% of the time, always. It'll always get priority, okay? So that's the second one. The cost of compliance is too high, all right? And the last one is they can't. They're unable. You're asking them to do something and they can't do it, you know? Now for this one, it says, users cannot comply because the security mechanisms do not match their basic requirements. So examples include organizations giving encrypted USB drives with too little storage space, forcing them to share files via email or via larger non-encrypted drives. It's also common to see users copying files onto laptops because remote accessibility is problematic, or because their network drive capacity is too small. Again, that's about the work, okay? That's about the work. That's not about people deliberately sitting down thinking, how can I help, you know, malicious hackers get in here, okay? I'm talking about people who are there to really work, all right? I'm not talking about the insider threats who are just looking for I'm talking about the majority of employees in organizations who are really there to do good ass work. That's what I'm talking about. They're not sitting around thinking, how can I help malicious hackers? No, they're not doing that at all. Not at all. When we don't, and that's our fault, okay? Listen, that is our fault. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says, because we are not doing what we need to be doing, okay? Wisdom in action is what we need to be doing, okay? We cannot sit, I didn't even know my organization had a security team. Like I didn't know what the hell that was. Cybersecurity, like what is that? Is that just about, because all I heard was about links. That's all I heard. And all I knew was that once a year I had to take training so my computer wouldn't get shut down. That's all I knew. You know, that's it. So, and if I was having trouble, then it was probably because of these security people. I can't do my job because of them. They got a whole book. It's called The Phoenix Project. I read that damn book like 3 times. The Phoenix Project. It's about DevSecOps. It's very good. Get it on Audible if you don't like to read. You can listen to it while you're driving. That book is saying exactly what I'm saying right now. It's a story of how this guy became CIO, okay? And in the book, it's like a novel. It's a novel, but it's about real situations that are happening in work. I love it. You know, it's genius. In the book, he's talking about the security guy. They wouldn't even invite him to the meetings. They try to make sure he wasn't in the meetings, because every time he came in, it was like his job to stop what was going on. They were trying to get this big project out. It was called Phoenix. Okay, they had the marketing people there, all this. They were behind schedule. I mean, things that needed to get done. They did not want security in the room, because security was going to be like, no, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do, you know. People trying to get, you know, we about to go out of business. We need this program up. Security is often seen as working against the mission. Okay, I'm telling you, if you haven't read the Phoenix Project, please get it. Security people need to have security solutions to help and enhance work. Sometimes being non-intrusive is the compromise that is made. Security people, and that's what real, actual wisdom in action does. Policy, good policy that is written with the mission and human behavior in mind enables work to be done. It doesn't disable. It don't disable nothing. It enables work to be done in the organization. Okay? Your IT security policy, your policies about USB drives, okay? Your policies about using VPNs, about what happens during remote work, okay? Your policies about which websites you can and cannot go to, when you have to ask permission, that needs to enable me to do my job, okay? I'm not looking for ways around that. Why am I looking for ways around that when that's enabling me to do what I need to do, okay? So presenting it in the right way is important as well. I feel like cybersecurity needs we need like good PR people or something, like marketing, you know? We need that, because the way that we explain it and do, you know, that's what this dude was saying about, well, didn't you take the training, and you know, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not. You're gonna have people do it. You cannot have people taking security measures out of fear. Okay? Because when you leave, or when the person who put that in place leaves, or as soon as they have the opportunity to do something else, they're going to do something else. Okay? We are largely cybersecurity professionals contributing to the insecurity of the organization. We just are, okay? Because we don't know human behavior. We feel like carrots and sticks do not work all the time. They don't. They just don't, okay? We got to do sugar. All this vinegar, Nah, it's easier with sugar. It's easier. And to show people, hey, listen, by putting this security measure in place, this is how it makes your job easier. Let me tell you how it makes your job easier. Can we explain stuff like that? Can we explain things in a way to where, okay, you know what? This IT security policy, let me tell you exactly how it makes your job easier, plus how it can get you more customers, okay? Let me tell you how this policy will allow you to get a higher performance. Let me tell you about that. Okay. Do you think for 1 second, just one, that if employees hear how security is going to help them perform better, get higher ratings from their customers, get more customers, do you think for a second they're not going to do that thing? Come on now. But they don't hear that. They don't hear that. How innovative will you be to actually go in there with a policy, or to explain how these various doing these various things to the system, having them go through this one extra step before they do this, how giving more attention to links that they get, how giving more attention, and really contemplating, and questioning whether how that's actually going to get them, more money at the end of the year. Basically, you know what I mean? I was telling somebody the other night, one of my patrons, we were talking about, he's going for a Security Plus, and we were talking about, what he's interested in, like problem solving and stuff like that, right? And I said, Career One Stop is a website that I went to when I was first trying to figure out what the hell do I want to do in cybersecurity. Hi, Maddox. Hi, Maddox12. How you doing? Kareem, you said the Chief Information Cybersecurity Officer is supposed to do what you're asking. They are, but they are supposed to do what we're asking. But all of us need to at least be able to explain it as well, I think. Because a lot of times they don't know. These CISOs and CIOs, they don't know how. The way that the stuff works today, I mean, anybody could be in that position. And they may not have the chops. They just may not. They may be all about, are we compliant? And that's all they got time for. They may not feel like they have time to really ensure they have a culture that values security, is what it boils down to. Okay. They just feel like they need to be compliant, which is not the same thing as a culture that values security. Okay. So, hi, Edwin. I'm so happy to see you here. How are you? Is it safe to say that non-technical roles are just as important as the technical roles? Of course, it's very safe to say. It's very, oh, I know what I was saying. So my patron, right? We're talking about that stuff. So I went to Career One Stop, and I told him, I sent him the link. I said, listen, go to it's careeronestop.org. Type it in right now. Ooh, looks like IT. careeronestop.org. There are 3 assessments, free. Everything on there is free. I mean, this the Department of Labor created this website, and they put their foot in it, child. I'm telling you, this website has some of everything on it, and it's all amazing. It's all updated. It's awesome. Okay. There are 3 assessments. Okay. Take at least one. If you don't want, I'd take all 3, but take at least one. Okay. If you don't like assessment. But the assessment, so I answered the questions. I think it was the career interest assessment that I took. And it came out, and I posted this on my LinkedIn too. So if you're there, you probably saw it. It came out that my top career, based on what I said I like to do and that I'm good at, was as an artist. That's what it said, an artist. And it went down and it listed all of the competencies, depending on what I said, based on what I said, all of the competencies that I had that rolled up into, you would do wonderful in a career as an artist, right? I'm telling you right now today, it's April Fool's, but this is not an April Fool's joke, okay? Every single one of them damn things I am using, and I have used since I've been in cybersecurity, okay? You have to be creative as hell in this profession. because you gotta be. We're dealing with people more than anything. Yes, we got we got computers, we got all that. Cyberspace, all that stuff. Okay? But this is not the Matrix. Okay? Skynet has not taken over yet. And I found out the other day from the last Terminator, it's not Skynet anymore. They call it something else. So Skynet didn't happen. Whatever, child. Okay? This world is not run by robots. All right? We're still dealing with human beings. We're dealing with animals here. Okay? Flesh and blood. You can't forget that. Okay? You can't forget that. Not if you want to have a secure culture. You cannot forget that. And just being compliant isn't going to do it. That's not what compliance is for. Okay? That weight falls on you, administrative person, CEO, CIO, CISO, all y'all. Okay? Whew. And administrative controls, right? That's not just policy. Just like in your house. In your house, those of you who are the boss of your house, you're the administrative control in your house. That doesn't just mean you make the rules. That means you got the money, okay? You control where it goes, or at least you contribute to controlling where it goes. You contribute to the decisions that are made about the money, and where it goes. You have the influence, okay? If somebody, what's for dinner? Who has the weight of the influence? Where are we going on vacation this year? Oh, who has the most influence on that? It may be you. If you don't have the most, you have some. Unless you're in a type of relationship where it's like, whatever they say, or you know what I'm saying? It's time to move. Where are we moving? What kind of car are we getting? Do you see? Administrative controls are that. They're administrative controls. Okay. So you got to be creative when you're not in control. Okay. Even though you're not in control, you can still have influence. If you speak in, if you speak in some good stuff. Okay. If you're contributing things that will move the business forward, okay, and not be scared to do that. All right. What is this? So the bottom line, y'all, is that the gospel of cybersecurity really is that. Okay, you can't sleep on administrative controls. You cannot sleep on administrative policy. You just can't. Okay, be it your own, you starting your own business, your own organization. If you're in a position where you're a decision maker in the organization, okay, you can't sleep on that stuff, and you can't just leave it up to compliance. Okay. Yes, we got to comply. Absolutely. All right. But your job is not done. Okay. It's not done. It's not. And the wonderful thing is about what I'm saying here. The wonderful thing I think that we're missing, we are absolutely missing. We need to have the mindset of a Linus Torvalds. Okay. Collective intelligence is what's going to move this thing forward. Okay. The cybersecurity team, the incident response, the threat hunter, all y'all can't be over here just coming up with shit. Okay. All right. Everybody needs to be involved in that. The CISO, the CIO, the employees. This is a Linux type thing. Okay. Okay. Do we see the value of collective intelligence? Do we see that? Okay, because we need that if we're really thinking about a secure a culture that values security. Okay, you got to have collective intelligence in it. Okay, because if you don't, you're working a lot harder than you need to be. You're working a lot harder. You really are. You really are. You know. All right. How long I've been on here? 1 hour and 25 minutes. What y'all talking about over here? Kareem said, Sauce, said, I agree with that. Hi, Sauce. Did I say hi to you already? Kareem said, in a perfect world would be CISO, then SEC engineer, then SEC analyst, only in certain C-level leadership roles. C-level executives can be non-technical. CISO, SEC policy, and SEC engineers need to be able to be technical, yet speak to non-technical. Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%. Collective intelligence is the biggest challenge in cybersecurity, in my opinion. Really, Sauce? Why is that though? Why would that be so hard to do? I think so. When I was in the military, right? I went to, we had to go over to, we went to Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and once I got out, my first husband, he was still in. So we went to Germany and, we lived there for a little while and all that. And what I realized, like after coming back here, especially after some of the years have passed, right, is that as an American, having the mindset and the values of an American, that really, I mean, it's very, what do you call it when you're it's not egocentric, it's called something else when you think your country is the best country and all that. I forget what the hell that's called, right? But it's a very like, it's not good. it's not when you're trying to do something that requires other perspectives. Okay, it's not good to have the perspective of yourself as it, the end all be all, right? And man, when I was in Germany, I was very arrogant. I mean, my American arrogance. Listen, I'm in Germany. I am in another country, but I expected people to speak English. Isn't that crazy? That is nuts. When I think about it now, I absolutely expected people to speak English when I went around in Germany. It was like, don't you speak English? How crazy is that? Listen. Oh, look at what happened when the companies involved in the SolarWinds attack went to meet with Congress. There was a whole lot of finger pointing and blaming. Oh, Sauce, I haven't even seen that. I need to look at that. I didn't see that they met with Congress. Not as much intelligence sharing. Yeah, but we I mean, if I go back to Germany or something, I've learned I've seen the light. Okay, I'm not going to be that terrible. Okay. Hi, Ayana. No, not patriotism. That's not it. It's called it's not that. That's not it. It's like egocentrism or something like that. I don't know. I forget. It's not about being proud of your country. It's about being obnoxious or something. Like if an Australian came here, right, and just expected Americans to eat or do, what Australians do, and be condescending, if we didn't, like what's wrong with you? Like, I don't even know. Like, hold on a second. You're in America, not Australia. Like, what you gotta, manage your expectations, okay? Because you over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. So that's not patriotism. That's something. It's like something like something more negative, something negative. Okay, that prevents you from really enjoying another culture, like enjoying another way of seeing, another different food. You know what I mean? Different languages and stuff, right? It prevents that from happening. You know, so we need to, not do that. We need to be because this is not just about America. Okay, the internet is global. Okay, global. And once we get to Mars, it's going to be what do you call that? I don't know, interspatial or something. I don't know. It's going to be all over the place. What's the infrastructure going to be like on Mars? I asked somebody that question, y'all. I actually did. I said, if you had to, begin communications on Mars, what would be first, and what would need to happen? What would that look like? Like seriously, like what? Because you got to consider the atmosphere and all. You got to consider a whole bunch of different things. It's like I asked the lady, like 2 years ago, the Mars One mission. I think they ran out of money, unless they got some more. Well, like 2 years ago, they were running out of money, but they had already identified the people who were being trained to for a one-way trip to Mars. Okay, and they've been training for years. So they had a list of people. It was on the Mars One website, and like 3 of the people were around here. One person was in DC, somebody was like in Alexandria, and somebody was somewhere else around here. But I contacted the lady. I contacted one of them who was around here, because this is when I was in training, because I wanted to talk to her about what kind of training they were doing, to prepare them. So we were able to, we exchanged emails and stuff, we were supposed to meet, but I don't know, something happened and we weren't able to do it. But it's very interesting. They go through some, and I think they do a lot of it in Utah, but they do a lot of hard things. Okay, a lot of hard things, because it's a one-way trip. Okay, you ain't coming back. They're going there to actually establish something, so that more people can come. All right. Oh, there was a Senate hearing. Okay, I'm going to look that up anyway, though. I want to hear that. I want to hear what they had to say. And CrowdStrike were present. Amazon was supposed to show up, but they said nah. I was like, I'm good. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go. Y'all got this. Oh man. All right. I told y'all I had a date. I got a date with some salt flakes, hot water, and bubbles. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. But thank y'all for listening. And like I said, I wanted to present this in a kind of a different way. I mean, y'all, you deal with policy every day. You see it, you assess it, all that, we do that every day. But I feel like it's kind of buried, it's buried under things. When I was doing my CAP, I made a PowerPoint slide where I use Game of Thrones to help talk about the different aspects of the risk management framework. Okay, and the administrative controls were the heads of the different houses. Okay, it was Cersei. Okay, and one of them was Jon Snow. And who are these other people? The administrative people. The head of the White Walkers. That dude, whatever his name was. Okay, that's it. That's the administrative people right there. They set the tone. Okay, they set the tone. And I'm still mad at Game of Thrones for the way it ended. Okay, I think that was ridiculous. They rushed. Oh, old girl with the dragons. She was in there too, as the administrative part. You understand? They set the tone. Can you imagine Game of Thrones without them people? Come on now. Come on. And Cersei's death was too nice. That woman was terrible. Okay, it was not fair for her to die in the arms of her lover brother. Okay, that was crazy. Y'all don't get me started on Game of Thrones now. Okay, but yeah. So if you guys have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do. So I'm going to come back with the security in the Black news. Okay, and I said I'm going to talk about some of the new cybersecurity YouTubers that we have here. Okay, you guys are really doing it. Professor Black Ops is making like 10 videos a day. Okay, I can't keep up. Okay, he has so much content over there, so much content. And so y'all go over to Professor Black Ops and see all that awesome stuff he's doing. So Professor Black Ops, after I do the security in the Black, I want us to talk about zero trust. I want to talk about zero trust framework and zero knowledge. Okay. I don't know if those are related, but I like zero knowledge. Like that whole concept. I really like. It reminds me of blockchain. Is that what they use for blockchain? Because it sounds a little bit like that proof of work stuff. I got to do more research though with that. But I'm gonna have my notes ready and my questions, okay, about this zero trust framework. All right. And if y'all have questions, y'all be sure y'all here too. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you like the video, please click like and click the bell so you can be notified when I go live. Although I'm gonna try to post, you know, on Twitter and LinkedIn and all that stuff when I go live. So again, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Okay, have an amazing night. Bye-bye.